G'day, I'm Stephen Page from Page Provan Family and Fertility Law Lawyers, and you're watching and listening to the Australian Family and Fertility Law podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. We love our subscribers. Today I'm talking about something that's due to happen soon, and I'm not entirely sure what is going to happen other than in broad outline. And that is at the end of July 2026 and in August 2026, there are going to be two reports delivered by the Australian Law Reform Commission to the Commonwealth Attorney General, Rowland. And the first report due in time is the Surrogacy report, and I've certainly made submissions to that, and I've also been in the advisory committee to that, but I don't know what's going to be in that report. That's a need-to-know basis on the part of the Commission, and it's their prerogative as to what's in that report. But certainly they have signalled publicly a move towards compensated surrogacy, but we'll see what happens with that report. And the other is the human tissue report due in August, which is talking about reviewing Australian human tissues laws. Now, this is not something that you would think has much to do with assisted reproductive treatment, IVF and surrogacy, but it does have some bearing because it touches upon IVF and ART in a couple of ways. First, because we have posthumous retrievals occurring in most states under that legislation. The legislation has different names, either Human Tissue Act or Transplantation Anatomy Act in a number of states, and in Western Australia, the Human Tissue and Transplant Act. And also in all states except Queensland, the provision of breast milk is covered by that. So that also trips up people who have surrogacy arrangements where they want to compensate the surrogate for provision of breast milk. And I don't know what's going to happen with that report either. I've certainly made submissions and a submission, both oral and written, to that review, so we'll see where that one goes. Those reports are going, as I said, to Attorney General Michelle Rowland. It'll then be up to the Albanese government as to when the government releases those reports, and if it has a response, and if so, when that response is going to be and what the nature of that response is. Certainly with both reviews, they involve state and territory laws, so I expect that sooner or later will go to each of the states and territories and be worked through. I'm not expecting, at least for surrogacy, for there to be any drastic change anytime soon. The last significant surrogacy review was undertaken by the House of Representatives with an informal inquiry in 2015 and then a formal inquiry in 2016. It was a decade later where finally we had one of the key recommendations met, which was to remove all discrimination with surrogacy, when Western Australia on the 18th of December 2025 enacted the Assisted Reproductive Technology and Surrogacy Act, but that act doesn't start until mid next year. It was only in May when Mr and Mr Dunn succeeded in the Western Australian Court of Appeal in removing that discriminatory provision that suddenly nationwide discrimination has largely gone. And that report also recommended national surrogacy laws, either Commonwealth laws or uniform laws. We still haven't achieved that. So we'll see how long it takes for whatever the recommendations are and where they go, but I'm not expecting instant change, and it may be glacial. Let's see. Thank you for watching and listening. I'm Stephen Page from Page Provan Family and Fertility Lawyers. It's the Australian Family and Fertility Law podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. We love our subscribers. Thank you.